everyone. In this video, we will cover the current affairs. Before we move ahead, let me inform you that these questions are part of our daily 20 MCQ series in GK Today's Academy Android application. So if you are looking for the text version of these questions and their explanations along with the interactive quiz, you may consider joining our daily 20 MCQ series in Academy Android application. So in this app course, you get daily 20 MCQs, a fortnightly quiz, a monthly revision document, and also category-wise revision ebooks which are optimized for reading on your mobile itself. Apart from it, you are also able to access all archives of questions from January 2020 onwards. Please check our Telegram channel. The link is given in the description box. You can subscribe to it if you find it relevant. For hard copy books, you can visit our website gktbooks.com. Okay, so now without wasting any further time, let's get started.
Good morning everyone, welcome back to GK Today, and today we'll be discussing most important MCQs for 4th and 5th of November 2021. Starting with very first question, which country has recently proposed a wealth tax? So US President Joe Biden has announced more conventional proposed rate hikes on the income of large corporations and the wealthiest Americans, similar to a wealth tax. And now this new tax would apply to the people with over $1 billion in assets or $100 million in income for 3 straight years. Also, their billionaires would face an additional tax on non-tradable assets such as real estate and business interest once those assets are sold. So this new tax is expected to raise $200 billion to now $250 billion. Okay. Now apart from it, Chief of WHO has honored late Henrietta Lacks with Director General Award, and she is an American woman whose cancer cells were taken without her knowledge during the 1950s, and now these cells were used in COVID research and development. Also in the previous lectures we have seen that Mr. Rajnikant has been conferred with 51st Dada Saheb Phalke Award for his outstanding contribution to Indian cinema. Now a few days back, Indian Navy has participated in the second phase of multilateral maritime exercise Malabar along with Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, Royal Australian Navy and US Navy. Then 17th edition of exercise Yuddha Abhyas, which is a joint military exercise between India and USA, was held few days back at Alaska, USA, and this is the largest joint military exercise for India. And also recently, India and USA held their ISA summit at New Delhi, and this summit was organized in order to develop a protocol to exchange classified information between the defense inclusive of both the countries. Then 8th ministerial meeting of India-US Economic and Financial Partnership Dialogue was held on 15th of October, where at Washington, DC. So during this meeting, both the sides held discussions on a range of subjects based on, for example, regulatory and technical collaborations and recovery from COVID-19. Okay. Question number 2. Proba 1, which has celebrated its 20th birthday recently, was launched by which space agency? So ESA, that is European Space Agency satellite, Proba 1 has celebrated its 20th birthday in orbit and it is still in full operation. So this was originally intended to survive for only 2 years, but it is still continuing as an Earth observation mission. So basically it autonomously performs advanced guidance, navigation, and have provided over 1,000 images of more than thousands of locations there, which are crucial for monitoring some environmental issues. Okay. Now apart from it, talking about NASA, it has selected a near space telescope proposal to study the recent history of star birth, star death, and formation of chemical components in Milky Way, etc. So this gamma ray telescope called COSI, which stands for Common Spectrometer and Imager, is set to be launched in the year 2025. So this will basically study the gamma rays from radioactive atoms produced when massive stars exploded. And also it will probe the origin of our galaxy's positrons called as anti-electrons. Now in the previous lectures we have seen that North Korea has recently test-fired a new long-range cruise missile amid the sanctions imposed by US over its nuclear program. Also recently Pakistan has test-fired Fateh-1 guided multi-rocket system, and this has been indigenously developed and it is capable of delivering a conventional warhead for the country. And not only this, in the starting of this year, Pakistan has successfully tested Shaheen-3 missile, which is a nuclear capable surface-to-surface ballistic missile which can strike the targets up to 2750 kilometers. Then also, Deep Space Atomic Clock of NASA has successfully ended its mission recently, and it was built by NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Southern California. Actually, this clock is a mercury ion atomic clock and it was launched aboard the Department of Defense Space in the year 2019, and after it completed its 1-year primary mission in the Earth orbit, NASA extended the mission to collect more data. Okay. Question number 3. Who is the head of the expert committee constituted by the Supreme Court to probe Pegasus allegations? So the Supreme Court recently set up an expert panel to investigate whether the center used the Pegasus spyware to snoop on the citizens. And the 3-member expert panel, overseen by retired Supreme Court Judge R.V. Ravindran, will also find out the details of people targeted by the military-grade Israeli spyware. And this was announced by the bench headed by Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramana. Now apart from it, the central government recently notified the 4-year integrated teacher education program, that is ITEP, and it was recommended as the minimum degree qualification for school teachers under the National Education Policy 2020. And the program will be offered by over 50 institutes across the country from the next academic year, and as per the National Education Policy 2020, teacher engagement from 2030 will be only through ITEP. Fine. Also, research firm We Are Social released a report titled as Digital 2021 October Global Snapshot, and as per this report, more than 65% of the world's population now uses a mobile phone, and the global mobile phone users reached 5.29 billion in October, and the global users are increasing by nearly 100 million in the past year. Also, the report highlighted that social media users are likely to be adopted by 60% of the global population in the first half of 2022. Now apart from it, Gulf of Mannar Marine Biosphere Reserve was in news these days. Why? Because the annual migration of birds from the Arctic to the Gulf of Mannar has begun recently. And a big flock of birds was sighted in the Manoli Islands inside the park. And this biosphere reserve includes a chain of islands and adjoining coral reefs of the coast located in the state of Tamil Nadu. Okay. Question number 4. India and the Asian Development Bank signed a $100 million loan to promote agribusiness network in which state? So India and ADB signed this much amount of loan to promote agribusiness network and to boost farm incomes and reduce food losses in the state of Maharashtra. So basically this loan will help provide financing opportunities for FPO, that is farmer producer organizations, and value chain operators to support 300 sub projects. Now apart from it, Government of India and ADB have recently signed a $4.5 million project readiness financing loan to support project preparation and design activities to improve urban mobility, where in the capital of Mizoram, Aizawl. So this will aim to identify high priority urban transport investment and develop a comprehensive mobility plan for Aizawl and also promote climate and disaster resilience. Now, a few days back we have seen that ADB has decreased its forecast for India's GDP growth to 10% in the year 2021 to 22 from 11% of its earlier forecast. So obviously this projection has been reduced because the downside risks were dominating the economic outlook. And apart from all these things, recently UAE has organized the annual meeting of the Board of Governors of Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, and the theme was Investing Today and Transforming Tomorrow. You have to tell me, where does the headquarters of ADB and AIIB lie? Please write your answers in the comment section. Question number 5. Presidential Task Force for One Country, One Law, which was seen in the news, has been set up by which country? So according to a Gazette notification issued in Sri Lanka, the President has set up a 13-member Presidential Task Force for One Country, One Law panel, and this panel is chaired by Gala Godate Nanasara of Buddhist Power Force. Actually, earlier there was a cabinet decision to amend the country's Muslim personal laws, and Sri Lanka also has different type of laws related to the Sinhalese and Tamil community. Okay. Now apart from it, the African Union has suspended Sudan from all its activities after the country's military overthrew the transitional government in a coup. And the World Bank also followed the United States in suspending aid to Sudan after the widely criticized military takeover, and the soldiers seized Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok and detained him in the coup, and General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan imposed a nationwide state of emergency across the country. Also earlier we have seen that United Nations has recently set up a special trust fund for Afghanistan to tackle its economic crisis, and the primary aim of the trust fund is to inject liquidity into the Afghan households. And talking about Sri Lanka, few days back it has received non-harmful nano nitrogen liquid fertilizer from India to boost its cultivation. And yes, last month 8th edition of India-Sri Lanka bilateral joint exercise called as Mitra Shakti was conducted at Ampara in Sri Lanka. Also earlier, Sri Lanka had declared a state of emergency over food shortage that was there. Okay. Question number 6. What is the theme of the World Day for Audiovisual Heritage? So this day is celebrated on 27th of October every year to raise awareness about and acknowledge the importance of preserving audiovisual materials. So basically in the year 1980, the 21st General Conference of the Recommendation for the Safeguarding and Preservation of Moving Images adopted the World Day for Audiovisual Heritage, and this year theme was Your Window to the World. Now apart from it, International Day of Older Persons is celebrated every year on 1st of October, and the aim is to spread awareness about the need for health facilities and social care for elderly people. And the theme for this year is Digital Equity for All Ages. Okay. Then World Elder Abuse Awareness Day is marked on 15th of June every year, and the theme for this year was Access to Justice. Also we observe World Animal Day on 4th of October to address their protection both in the wild and domestic world, and we celebrate International Day of Non-Violence on 2nd of October, obviously to commemorate the birth anniversary of Father of Nation Mahatma Gandhi. Then we celebrate International Translation Day on 30th of September in order to recognize the role played by the language professionals in connecting nations and promoting peace. And we celebrate World Post Day on 9th of October every year to mark the anniversary of establishment of Universal Postal Union in 1874, and the theme for this year was Innovate to Recover. Fine. Question number 7. Which country has agreed to provide $3 billion to Pakistan? So Saudi Arabia has agreed to provide $3 billion to Pakistan in safe deposits and $1.5 billion worth of oil supplies on deferred payments as per the media reports. So this agreement is said to have been reached during Prime Minister Imran Khan's visit to the kingdom, and the deposit would be kept rolling until the completion of International Monetary Fund program in October 2023 as the IMF Pakistan deal was discontinued. Okay. Now apart from it, Saudi Arabia has recently launched a national infrastructure fund to support up to 200 billion riyals in projects over the next decade, and it will be advised by the world's largest fund manager, BlackRock. So this fund will basically invest in sectors such as water, energy, health, transport, etc. And also we have seen that Australia has recently given in principle to a target of zero net carbon emissions by the year 2050. And also Saudi Arabia has recently announced that it aims to reach net zero greenhouse gas emissions by the year 2060 because it is the 10th largest emitter of carbon dioxide globally, and it is the largest emitter on a per capita basis among G20 countries. And also we have seen that Saudi Arabia has announced plans to massive new theme park named as the Rig. And also the world's fastest roller coaster would be inaugurated there in a new city in the year 2023. Fine. Question number 8. Krishi Udaan 2.0 has been launched by which ministry? So the Union Ministry of Civil Aviation has launched the Krishi Udaan 2.0, which aims to integrate agriculture harvest and air transportation, thereby helping to improve the agri-value addition chain. So this scheme basically helps in the movement of agri-produce by air transportation by providing full waiver of landing, parking, TNLC and RNFC charges for Indian freighters. Now apart from it, the Union Minister of MSME, Mr. Narayan Rane, has launched Sambhav, which is a national level awareness program, and it is being organized by Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises in New Delhi. And the outreach program will be a 1 month long initiative in which students from different colleges and ITIs will be encouraged by 130 field offices of the ministry to take up entrepreneurship, and college students will be made aware of the schemes being implemented by the Ministry of MSME. Okay. Question number 9. Who has been appointed as the chairperson of National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development? So the Government of India has appointed Shri K.V. Kamath as the first chairperson of National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development. So this is being set up as a statutory body under an act of Parliament, which would act as a development financial institutions for infrastructure financing in India. So the announcement of this institution was made in the Union Budget 2021 to 22. Now apart from it, Mr. Baldev Prakash has been appointed as MD and CEO of Jammu Kashmir Bank, and the RBI has approved this appointment recently. So presently Mr. Baldev Prakash is the Chief General Manager at State Bank of India, and the government of Jammu Kashmir holds majority shareholding of 68.18% in the Jammu Kashmir Bank. Now apart from it, HDFC Bank, MasterCard, USAID have committed a sum of $100 million loan credit facility for small business in India, and this will basically aim to expand lending to small business that need financing to maintain and grow their operations. Also we have seen that recently RBI has imposed a penalty of 27.78 lakh rupees on Western Union Financial Services for non-compliance with MTSS directions, that means Money Transfer Service Scheme directions. Okay. And now coming to last question. Which country hosted the 16th East Asia Summit? So the 16th edition of East Asia Summit was hosted recently by Brunei, in a virtual format in which the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated. So during the meeting, the Indian Prime Minister affirmed India's commitment and focus on cooperation, international order and territorial integrity of all nations. Also recently, Rome has played host to the 16th G20 summit and Nagpur has played host to the first ever National Inter-Religious Conference that was organized by Lokmat Media Group, and the theme of this conference was Global Challenges to Communal Harmony and Role of India. Also we have seen that host of International Film Festival of India is Goa, and also Goa has been complimented for achieving ODF status and connecting every household with electricity. Okay. Now let's start with today's quiz. Here on the slide you can see 5 questions which have been taken from the past 2-3 days current affairs. Pause the video and try to solve each of these questions, and at the end of the lecture do not forget to share your scores in the comment section. So please be honest and do not cheat with yourself. So that's it for today. I hope you have liked this session. These were the important news and events from today, and we will meet again tomorrow with some more important current affairs. Till then, stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to GK. With this, Meenuzat Sana signing off.